911 emergency.
Yes, I'm pretty sure I just found a dead body in my trash can.
We have the ambulance and we have officers on their way over there, okay? If you could just stay in the area and flag them down, okay?
Okay, I don't have to see it again, do I?
When you find a body in a dumpster, it's one of those things that it's just horrific. We respond with everything we've got.
In the back right corner of the dumpster, there was a blue tub, and there was a body that appeared to be bound and wrapped up.
When we took the tote out of the dumpster, we discovered it was an adult female, and she was wrapped inside some linens. As we removed the body, we also found a bottle of pine cleaner. She had had a gunshot wound. It looked like at an entrance just about the temple here and just in front of the ear, an exit wound.
She didn't have any identification on her. We didn't know who she was. So the first major hurdle we've got to do is figure out who this is.
We took a photo of the victim's face, and she had some very distinct tattoos, and we distributed that within the Sheriff's Office, DPS, and San Angelo Police Department.
Based off of the body, the way it was bound, thrown in that tote, we believe it was probably a domestic situation, meaning it was somebody close to her, either a boyfriend, husband, ex-boyfriend, something like that.
I came across a photograph of her and a male subject. I knew him by face because I've dealt with him in the past. We identified this male as Gilbert Hernandez.
When was the last time that you saw her?
Well, it was either the 8th or the 15th that she went to the house, and it was about 3 or 4 in the morning. And that's when she tells me that that dude, Little Machine, had her in his house, and he wouldn't let her leave, and then she had to play it off and act cool with him so she could go, and she kept looking around. She kept saying, "Let him find me, he's gonna kill me."
I recognize the name Little Machine. A lot of times we get street names, and Little Machine was Andres Ramirez, somebody law enforcement had dealings with for several years in the San Angelo area. At this point, he's a person of interest. We want to bring him in and talk to him, obviously. We don't want to cause him to run or destroy evidence at the same time. So we set up a surveillance team on his house. We did have the information that he had a suspended driver's license. And then when he drove away from the house, he did make an illegal turn, which gave us probable cause to affect the traffic stop.
They pulled him out of the vehicle and arrested him for those traffic violations. And we were very careful at the time of not tipping our hand of what the real reason was. Andres said that he wanted to kind of speak with the person in charge. That normally does not happen during a traffic stop. Saying that is a big red flag of, well, what's he wanting to talk about?
Why don't we start off with the traffic stop? You said you know what it's all about and you wanted to speak to the person in charge. I'm getting that vibe from you that you got some anxiety.
Evidently you know something because of what I've seen, like, you know, this didn't happen like that. It's no regular traffic stop.
So why do you think the traffic stop went down like that?
I think maybe y'all are trying to investigate something that happened to somebody, as in maybe even somebody being killed. I guess maybe I have a tie to her, or as in, you know what I mean?
I'd say you're probably right on track.
We hadn't mentioned any assault or harm to any other person. We just said we need to talk to you about something. And he brings up the word kill and her in the same sentence.
What do you think happened to Cammy? What do you want to tell me about it?
As far as
I can see and hear things that in your speech that you want to talk about it.
Right. I don't even like really know her. You know what I mean? She's my brother's friends. You know what I mean?
What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to just get my bearings on this whole thing. You know, I've got to wrap my head around it.
I mean, dude, if you need some help, dude, go ahead and deputize my ass or something already, man, because it's a bunch of bull, dude.
You want some more water, brother?
Please. You would definitely have a cigarette on your way.
He wasn't offering any new leads. And it comes a point in time where you're just spinning your wheels.
If you need to, you can take a break. You can take them outside, let them have a cigarette. And a lot of times their anxiety goes down and they're a lot more calm, willing to speak.
So we walked outside, said, hey, do you have anything to do with this? And his response was, I don't know, possibly.
How were you involved in her murder?
Guess I would say we had an argument, and things wasn't going exactly her way. She had a knife, you know. She was already trying to come at me, and you know.
Right.
And I'm like, damn. And like I said, man, I had, you know, the gun, man, and she's like coming. I'm like, man, chill, you know what I mean? And I'm trying to like restrain her, and I'm telling her, man, put the knife down, man, put the knife down. She's like, come on, what the and I'm like, what? I'm like, nah, man, just stop. Like, arms like start twisting, and like, you know what I mean? I'm like, what the like, and like, she's like, man, I couldn't know more, man. And luckily, you know what I mean? When I had, you know, right there, man, you know, I didn't know anything else, and like, you know what I mean? Like, you know. Yeah, I pulled the trigger.
You shot her?
Yeah.
How many shots did you fire?
I didn't even want to fire one.
I understand. Bro. Just one shot?
And that was it.
Were you in front of her? Were you beside her, behind her? How was this?
Yeah, I was.
Can you stand up and show me?
I was on the side of her.
Can you stand up and show me?
We don't always do a demonstration using the investigator. We have dummies. I kind of just went with it because he was standing up, I was standing up. I wanted him to feel comfortable using me. I wanted him to keep talking. We needed to cover everything.
Show us how it happened that you remember.
When I
she's like that, she's trying to get
right,
up.
and so she's down like this, right? And I got her, and then finally, I'm on top, you know what I mean? And I'm telling her stop, you know what I mean? And she's coming at me with the knife. She's still coming at me, and like, you know what I mean? All I do is I grab the gun like that, and I tell her to stop. And like when she comes like that, like
this?
Yeah, like that. All I could do was just, you know what I mean? That's all I.
Squeeze the trigger?
Yes, sir.
He didn't show any type of signs of being hurt in any way. We've seen that before, where they'll grab the knife and then you still get cut on their hands and the forearms. Nothing like that on his end.
Police caught the man they believed killed Camille. Andres Ramirez was named a person of interest on Wednesday. When Ramirez was questioned about Camille's murder, he confessed.
Ramirez is still being held in jail in San Angelo.
We get inside the house and it reeks of pine cleaner. You could see where he had cleaned the couch. The bullet had gone all the way through into the back frame of the couch. There were some sheets and comforters that matched the set of sheets and comforter that she was found in at the dumpster. There was a great deal of evidence that just corroborated everything it said during the confession.
The trial for Andres Rios Ramirez began at 9 a.m. on Monday. Both sides told the jury it's not a question of who shot Camille Garcia, it's a question of whether or not it was in self-defense.
Like that, all I could do was just, you know what I mean? That's all I.
Squeeze the trigger?
Yes, sir.
This kind of confession is exactly the type of confession you want to have if you have to go to court in front of a jury. We were able to refute pretty much every instance of him saying it was self-defense. We were able to let him use his own words. We were able to let him use his own demonstration.
No one alive on this earth right now has the right to decide who lives and who dies. And that's what that monster did. And now he got what he deserved.